What's going on, traders, and welcome to my stream. We're gonna be discussing here today what everything moved for the past week. It's been an interesting week so far. Currently, today's Sunday. I'm sure you all know, and we're gonna talk about like what has moved in the past week. This has been a pretty interesting week. We have had a couple of movers, like we have had a couple of movers that moved in the middle of the week, and I'm gonna discuss all those. Sadly, I trade between like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I pretty much leave at like 11. And there was like some stocks that went up ballistic in the middle of the day, like three times out of this week. And I kind of did miss him, and I'm gonna talk all about it and more after this video. All right, so we're gonna get started with Monday. This is Monday's July 24th, 2023. Traded three tickers, G5, BBIG, PXMD, and gonna go discuss all those tickers. G5 was the first red day short. G5 went on Friday from about 4 to about 10. Right on the day was 840, and soon enough, we brushed into the 840s. Actually, 840s right about there at around I don't know. That looks like about 840, and soon enough, we just dumped over there, and soon enough, I took it short, risking off the 840 line, and soon enough, I think my best short in G5 was around 758. 758. Yeah, right about there. So I was shorting just when I saw that VWAP is now holding in the pre-market because this is the third day, and I risked based on 780 to 740. So I was risking 60 cents. I was late to the party. Overall, I was risking 40 cents a share. So I was, late to the party to short it. But soon enough, I figured we went from 4 to 10. I shorted over here, covered over here. I did make 10%. Soon enough, it went up down to 6, shorting the third. This is the third red day. This is not the. This is not the. This is not the. It's not the second green day. It's kind of like the fourth. Let's see if we can get everything together here. So we can get everything closer here. So that's kind of like how it happened here. The next ticker is. Let's talk about the next ticker is BBIG. BBIG pretty much went up over here in the middle of the day at around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I saw it on the scanner and went up from 4 up to like, 450. And then we halt up in this range. We went up in the middle of the day on Monday from 4 to 450. We hold down. I didn't do anything with it. Soon enough, it broke the downtrend. We held VWAP a couple times and we hit like 582. So it was, I think this was lower float, I think, or something. Anyway, so I looked at the daily. We broke 440, 440 daily resistance here, and I was thinking the next resistance is 550. And soon enough, that is actually what the resistance was. So I bought it on the VWAP. I sold some here, sold some here. Soon enough, it went from about a 470 to about a 587. I didn't buy this dip over here, but ended up performing really well. Actually, that was BBIG. That was five. Actually, the entry is wrong there because my entry was around 460, and so the 520. So that was 460 to 520. That's 60 cents, and that ended up being a good win. The other loser that I had PXMD here. This is PXMD. PXMD was hovering around this area. We had a VWAP reclaim right about there, around 96. We spike up to 120. I'm not sure if this stock had news or not, but the volume didn't come in, and I should have taken the hint. I bought it the first time at 105 and sold it at a dollar. And soon enough, you can see so here that this is the trend that the stock was supposed to hold, and that normally we push right out of the gate, and we should hold that trend if the stock is bullish. But soon enough, that trend that was over here was supposed to hold, and it didn't hold. And soon enough, it actually dumped. So next time, if the stock does not hold the pre-market trend over here, Do not try to buy it a second time because that's a very good indication that the stock is very weak. I don't remember what the news was on this one, but I actually tried to buy it 2 times, and it was just foolish to do so. Even though the chart was clean, some of them they'll just gap and they'll just sell off, which is actually pretty sad about this situation. So that was Monday, third red day short, first green day into a parabolic, and then I took a long here PXMD that didn't really work out. So that was kind of it there. Let's see if I can move my computer a little bit to the right so you can see me better. So trying to get the right angle here. But the next ticker, I think this was on Tuesday, shorted TUP and BFRG. So we're gonna talk about TUP. TUP is the third. You can see you can see the common theme here that to short the third red day. You can see that here shorting G5 the third red day worked out pretty well. So I pretty much went into top here, started short pretty aggressively in the 150s area because it was just hovering in the pre-market, so it was opening up red. So enough right out of the gate was slammed to 125. So this is the third red day short that has actually worked out in top. And I did cover into this dip here most of my shares, and I took out my 20% win. Actually, 150 down to 125, 25 cents. That's about, if I were going to say, it's around 15% gain. So I did take some around the lows. So I did take most of the move. So the third red day short has been working, and soon enough I took my profits and I ran. Another ticket that I also traded that day was BFRG long. BFRG long was very simple. I think it was the lowest float of the day. I think I missed this whole move in the morning. Went from 340 to 520. And soon enough, we had a VWAP consolidation. You might want to take a look at this screenshot because this is a VWAP consolidation before pre-market open. And when you see something like that, you can come in when it makes a higher high on the 1 minute because you're going to see this pattern again. This is a VWAP pre-market consolidation. And what happens is if this VWAP consolidation pattern holds during the pre-market, that's when you're going to have a big move. And soon enough, that is actually where the move happened. It actually gave a 10% move from around the 5 to 575 and had some chops. Some algos came in, and I think it was untradeable after this point. But BFRG was definitely a nice one. I don't think I think I should have bought it around 8 o'clock. The thing about this mover is that if I have consistency where I see every single ticker giving me an opportunity at 7 o'clock every single day, I will show up every single day. But sadly, I have not seen every single day opportunity at 7 o'clock in the morning at all. I mean, you can argue that there was one opportunity here Monday, but there so far has not been any opportunity to be up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Only, I mean, it's been like only once this week so far, which was BFRG. I'm gonna, so I'll start trading at around 8 o'clock because, or 7:30 to 8 o'clock because I haven't seen a reason to stocks if hundreds of stocks move at before 7 or around 7, you wake up at 7 and you trade them. If they don't move, there's no reason for you to wake up at 7 unless you like staring at computer screens for an hour and just watching paint dry. But that's kind of like what happened here. We're going to talk about that's Monday, second red day short, push, okay, okay. Then is the third red day short here in top, worked out really well. Then you have a consolidation around a VWAP before pre-market and a higher high on the 1 minute. Give around 10%. That's a great trade. Soon enough, we're moving into Wednesday, 726.23. So I traded ABRC, ABVC, and you can see I actually made about 80 cents a share in ABVC. ABVC, I think it was the lowest float of the day, and I think it was the lowest float of the day. I'm not sure. Yes, I think we were all watching this ticker in the pre-market right about here from 4 to like around 6, and we came back down, and a lot of people said over here that this stock is about to make higher highs or something. And I'm sure some of them take it long, but only after market opens we had a pop here, and soon enough I bought it when it had a first 1 minute to make a new high. You can see this by this uptrending wedge pattern formation. If I were going to zoom in, this is a push, this is come back down, this is another push, this is come back down, this is a push, this is come back down. So you see a trend coming here and a downtrend wedge pattern. And I bought it on this is called an opening range breakout pattern, in which you look at the 1 minute and as soon as you see a higher high on the 1 minute, you go long and you risk it off this candle over here. So technically, if I did go long, which I did around the 560 area, I was risking off the 540, so I was risking 20 cents a share, which is actually not that bad. You know, if you're long over here at 560, risking of 530, you're technically only risking actually 560 to 550 or 540, you're risking 20 cents a share. So now you got to just count in consideration ABVC, your size. If I was long 2,000 share, I was risking 200 bucks. If I was long 6,000 shares, I was risking if I was long, if I, the more shares, 1,000 shares equals 200 bucks, so then you can capitalize on this move because there's plenty of liquidity to go in. You can see it's trading around 500,000 shares, so never be more than 1%. So my 2,000 share means absolutely nothing for the stock. If so, I'm not moving the stock. If I could move it with 1,000 shares or 2,000 shares, that would be really great. But it's trading 500,000 shares on the 1 minute. That's 500,000. That's a lot more than my size of 4 to 6,000 shares. So these are very liquid stocks, or this has been a very liquid stock. They went from 5 to around 7. So pretty much I capitalized on this move here. I went long around 560, went up to 5640. Pretty nice, around 10% move, and I actually held a bit. I actually sold 2/3 at the top. I thought that VWAP is gonna hold, but I was not sure. But then I held the third here, and I think I fat fingered it. I think over here, I think I bought 630, and then I sold immediately at 640 when I saw I actually bought instead of sold. So that ended up being a huge gain for me, just based on this pattern. I nothing really spectacular about this one. I'm glad I sized up on it and it worked out. I mean, this is another indication of what not to do. Like the things about my videos is that the more you can pretty much kill your losses, the better you are gonna be on the overall. You're gonna have to pretty much review your losses and review your trades, and you see where you messed up. In this situation here, I did mess up because I did buy a second day continuation play. And second day continuation play could work or could not work. As you can see in top, it worked out. If I were going to take top over here, second day, hold on, let me see if I can get top. You can see, so top here, every time we broke, yesterday's high, we had a second day continuation over here and over here. And I mean, you had, you had a continuation right there when we broke yesterday's high. You have a continuation right there. So top worked out really well, but not every single time is going to work out. In this situation, this was an IPO, WRNT. So I was looking if it'll break this 528 and we're going to push much higher. In this situation, it did not work out because we hit the pre-market high and we rejected. And sadly, I actually took it with too many shares, I would have to say. Taking it with too many shares. I took it with WRNT. I took it with actually 3,000 shares, and I pretty much lost 30 cents a share in a minute. And that's how quick these things are. If you chase it too high and then it slams on you, it's a very humbling experience to not chase this pre-market resistance and wait for it. But that's the volume didn't come in at all. You can see very much low volume. So the thing about these stocks, since they're so volatile, you need a lot of volume to be moving. And you can see we came in the first candle 300k, 400k. So there's a big difference between WRNT and ABVC, because ABVC was pulling at least 500,000 per 1 minute candle. And you can see WRNT was just pulling 500,000 first two candles, and then the volume kind of just was very much dry. So you need volume for these stocks to move, especially you need the flow to rotate. So there was low volume, there was resistance, and it's very difficult to see these in real time and make adjustments like this. You only see it after the fact and why, but there was lack of volume, and that's how it works. Sometimes it's not gonna go. So moving on to pretty much, these are some midday movers that have moved. This is the midday mover from Wednesday. The midday mover from Wednesday was MNK. You can see MNK just moved in the middle of the day, and I was just watching it. And because I watch my stocks on my phone, not necessarily trading them or live streaming during the midday. I trade when the market shows me plays. And in this situation, we have had just a couple of days of stocks moving at 7 o'clock and just a couple of days of stocks moving midday. So in this situation, we had MNK that moved on Wednesday, and we had another two stocks that moved. Actually, that's 726.23. So that's on Wednesday. So we had a couple of stocks that moved on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday midday. So there's a common theme going on here that stocks are moving in the midday. An example is MNK. We came up here, we came back down, we had an uptrend wedge around the VWAP, and soon enough, this thing just ballooned from 80 cents up to 150, and I actually didn't touch it at all. The next day, MNK gave a nice downtrend break from the pre-market high, from the pre-market resistance over here of 165, hit 240. That was a possible 20% gain right about there in just a couple minutes. I didn't take any short, I didn't take any long. It was just a stock that I did not trade at all, but is a very good one to review and to notice that, there was opportunity here, and I didn't take any part of this. Next day, we had pretty much Thursday. I traded three tickers, CTX and FEMI and TUP. This was Thursday, and it pretty much was, sadly, a choppy day. The ugly ticker was CTCX here, the first ticker that I did go long. As you can see, this is a more of a first green day bounce. I didn't like this pattern due to the fact that we tried to bounce before, which was 2 days ago, and it actually didn't go anywhere. It actually sold off really hard. So when the stock doesn't bounce the first time, and you tries to bounce a second time, and you got some resistance and some, you know it should technically bounce the first time. It's kind of like going dating. If you make your move and the date likes you, it should work the first time. You shouldn't really have to work on it too hard if the trade is working. So forcing trades actually leads you to losses. So you can see that multiple times. So, we went from 13 down to 5, and finally we had the first day to make a new high. First green day bounce, it broke yesterday's highs of 550, and we should have went all the way to 8, 9, or a lot higher than just selling off. So now this is the second time around trying to bounce this thing, and you can see that it failed again. And I tried to go long, and I got stopped out. Sadly, I think my long was around as this downtrend was breaking into the 560s, and this downtrend was breaking on the upside in the 560s. You can see, if you were going to draw a line from here to here to here, that is the actual entry that I did buy at 460, and I was thinking we were going to do 5 or 6. So enough, we got slammed back down, and I lost 20 cents on that around, and that was just ugly, because actually there were like 3 tickers that gapped up on Thursday, and they were all 30%, and none of them went, and it was just, sometimes you're in a very dry day and dry market, and sometimes nothing works, and you have to come in, either take your maximum stop for the day, or either try that ticker 2 times and then walk until there's some change in the market. But that is the reality of things. Some days you're gonna have days like this when just nothing works, and you're gonna stop out on 3 tickers, and that's or you're gonna have a flat trade. And soon enough, you can see Femi here moved up, and I stopped out 2 times over here. And soon enough, this ticker actually went from 60 cents up to $1, and that's just the rules that I do have, to go in 2 times and not go a third time, because you don't want to burn yourself out, nor you want to overstay your welcome. Soon enough, it went from 50 cents up to $1. This is a really nice stock. This was a really nice stock. Too bad I didn't actually make any money, because I'm actually just green 200, $300. So for me, it was more of a flat day. Moving on to TUP. I have TUP over here, which I did trade over here. You can see I bought it at 242, sold at 264. So I'm gonna review TUP here. TUP is pretty much a day two. Let me see if I can get TUP over here, because I have TUP somewhere here. Top is right here. You can see that what I did do is that I recognized this pattern. It went from 50 cents up to 175. Then we open up red, I short, and then we have a continuation. It broke yesterday's highs of 150, and we closed above this area of 175. So soon enough, I saw top breaking yesterday's high of 213, and I actually did buy top, because I don't have the screenshot of it, but this is the top screenshot of it. I was actually buying it, which was a pre-market breakout of right here, about a 240. So I went in at 240 buying the pre-market breakout, and I did sell at 265, doing that with 2,000 shares. Pretty much netted me, I don't know, two, three, five, $500 in just a quick trade. So enough, this ticker actually went to 375, which is not all tickers are gonna do this. They do this very rarely. So the problem with this ticker is that majority of the traders were short. I mean, the float was around 30 million. So shorting a stock that's easily available to short will get a lot of shorts interested in the stock, and that is how you have a short squeeze. So this stock top pretty much did an astronomical short squeeze, going up from 50 cents up to 375, and actually went long and I went short. So this has been the biggest mover, the best multi-day mover that we've seen in a long time. So, I actually took it long on Friday because it was just very, very, very fun to trade this one. Anyway, let me see if I can go back to. There we go. So this was. So let's review. It was Thursday. We had CTCX that didn't work out. You had Femi that I took it twice, and we actually went to $1. And we had a couple on. We have a day two continuation in URGN here that I did not trade at all. Because it just doesn't really fit my personality to go long as it breaks yesterday's high of 18 and just hold it into this grind. As you can see, this stock trades with a lot more higher float. Probably has institutions, probably has some insiders. You can see, the reason I like low floats is that you can come in, and get out. But this is a more slower moving stock, so it's just a matter of personal preference. But there was opportunity to go along in URGN as I was watching this one as well from 17 to 24. A much slower type mover though. So moving on, I think to Friday, which was my best day of the week. I think I traded TUP and UFOB here over here, and pretty much you can see so UFOB here. So what happened to UFOB is that we had Femi that ran on Thursday. That I don't know. I think it ran also midday. Femi ran from like 30 cents up to $1 or something. The middle. Oh, yeah, there you go. So there we go. So this Femi thing ran from like 50 cents to $1. So we wake up on Friday and we're like, oh well, we had a 30-cent stock just triple. Which one is the next 30-cent stock that triple? And pretty much we woke up and looked at the gap scanner. The latest one was UFOB, which was a much thicker float. So just remember, just because one stock tripled, it's always going to be less than the one that worked out. This is how patterns form based on what happened yesterday. So if you have a stock that went up 1,000% yesterday, the next stock that is similar to this is not going to go up 1,000%. It's probably going to go up 200%. So in this situation, Femi tripled. As you can see, Femi triple. Let me go back to Femi triple. Let's call it 50 cents up to $1, or actually let's call it 40 cents up to $1. So twice and a half. So it's gonna be something less than this. So UFOP started at 25 cents or 25 cents. So it actually went up twice. So Femi went up around twice. It doubled and then some, and then UFOB just doubled. So it was pretty close to each other. I actually took it long as it broke this downtrend. And it was holding VWAP. This was a nice wedge pattern formation. Took it long around 40. We hit around 40, 50, and I think I sold it a little bit way too soon, and just I didn't really let it ride. I don't know why I didn't let it ride. I was just a little bit. I don't know. I just wanted to get in. I actually was a bit jaded because if I looked at Femi and Femi went up 50, Femi went up from 50 cents to $1 intraday. I had the idea that this stock is gonna go up much less than Femi because it's just a strategy works so long, traders are buying it, and the first strategy that is identified that works, it's always gonna be the best one, and what strategy is similar to that is gonna be less. So I looked at UFOB and I'm like, okay, I'll buy it, but I'm gonna sell it, and it's not, and didn't go to $1 from 40 cents to from 35 cents. Let's call it. It didn't go from 35 cents to 70, which was what people were expecting. It only went up to 50 cents, but there was plenty of opportunity to make 10-20% on it. So the next trade that I did take on Friday was pretty much top short, which pretty much we had a third green day. So now you can see the pattern here that multiple times this week I tried to short the third green day, and it has worked out so far. And top, I took it short around 340. This is the third setups that I took this week that I shorted on the third green day and worked. and soon enough I shorted around 340, and I did cover into the 280s. And actually, the stock ended up just bouncing around in the middle of the day, back up to 350. So glad I took some shares or most of the shares, and I did cover around 280 because this stock squeezed in the middle of the day from 270 up to 350. So it's a very volatile security. You can see so here that this top was very volatile security. So make sure you pay yourself. This is why I like to pay myself when I have a 20% move. I lock it up. In this situation, I actually covered the other half around the threes. It actually spiked way much higher than I did think in the middle of the day. Normally I was expecting it to die off into the 240s, but we had some shorts that were just, I think, stuck in the last hour, and they got squeezed out really nicely from 280 to 370. This thing does not happen usually, but I don't know why it did happen. But soon enough, this is a very abnormal move, especially on the third green day. You never know. I don't think we're gonna go over the fives, but I will watch top coming into next week because I'm sure it's gonna be on everybody's radar. Other than that, we had a couple of honorable mentions. I don't know which honorable mentions I had. There we go. There's an honorable mention that moved in the middle of the day on Friday. This is AURC, so a bunch of low floats moving in the middle of the day. After 10 o'clock, there's just this one mover that moves in the middle of the day. So we had like three examples this week of midday runners. In this situation, we had AURC. AURC broke a 52-week high of 40, had a first green day bounce around 25. We hauled up like a madman, and we hit around 60. I didn't really trade this one, but there was plenty of opportunity in the middle of the day. So I will be very mindful that during middle of the day, there's going to be a lot of movers that move, and we're gonna see if this pattern continues. But so far, there's been a bunch of midday movers that went up like 500% that I will be watching, and there has only been one. So don't get too excited to just hit that buy button of whatever is moving. But it's nice to see AURC going wild here from 20 up to 62. Other than that, I don't think I have any questions in the live chat. If I do, I'm gonna probably be checking them now. If you did leave a comment or you have any questions, you can pretty much just write it all in. I see hello, hello. What platform do you use? I rate this is Thinkorswim. I also use Power E Trade Pro, and if you want to use and I also use Trade Ideas for scanners. And if you really want the fastest level two, you use anything with a DAS trader. I'm not a fast DAS trader kind of guy. I am pretty much I can be a fast DAS trader. I'm a very I had periods in which I was trading very volatile securities very quickly using level two, and I was waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I highly recommend those, especially if you're gonna do it on 4x or 6x. When I did wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to trade those crazy movers that did move during the what is it called, the coronavirus pump. But right now, I'm more of a relaxed trader because, I'm trying to get the meat of the move, 10, 20%, and I'm not really trying to scalp for 10 cents. There's definitely different strategy because, I mean, if you're getting in there with 10 cents, trying to make 10 cents, 2,000, 3,000 shares, it's a very hard for the mind and the body to sustain. But if you can do it, go right ahead. It's like running a marathon. You can only do it for so it's like running really fast. Running like 8 miles per hour for half an hour to an hour. But my trading strategy has been much more of a endurance trader in which I come in and take 10, 20% and see the bigger move, the bigger picture. And and then for shorting, I do recommend everybody get a Trade Zero account. I do have Trade Zero. I do have Centerpoint. I do have some other brokerages that for another undisclosed firm that I'm currently working from Asia that I work on. So this is more of a teaching thing for myself. So I do recommend Trade Zero for all international students. That you're gonna find all those shares there. Especially if you're under 5K. If you have more money, I do recommend Centerpoint, which which is great. Those are like the greatest stocks. They're the greatest things to trade. Other brokerages are like, I don't know, Thinkorswim. I don't know, TD Ameritrade. I don't know, whatever you want to use, or Webbull. If you want to use Webbull, you can do that. But yeah, this is a day trade. Other than that, see you guys tomorrow, and have a great reviewing it each week will make you actually a better trader, because what you're gonna be facing yourself in the first year is basically trying to break even. And as you break even, you will make profits, and as you make profits, you want to eliminate all the losses that you made and not doing them again. So far in this video, what I have noticed so far is that do not buy day two continuation that often, because it does not work that often. It did work in top day two continuation, but it did not work in like the other 2 out of 3 stocks. So it's just about the trying avoiding what, and also a couple of first green day bounce did not work. There were a couple of first green day bounce that did not work. So as you remember, last week we had like 2 or 5 first green day bounce. They worked, and soon enough, after everybody picked up that strategy, the first green day bounce bounced 150%, second 70%, third pretty much 40%, fourth like 20%, and like the last four and the fifth strategy of first Green Day bound pretty much sold off and failed. So that strategy has not been working so far. Other than that, see you all later, and that's about it. Peace out.